5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
We got us a new world champion!
And what is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and well, it's been a week since we've done something, right? Joined by Andrew. Kyle's not here. He's working right now. Just got finished watching Payback. I mean, it's basically just a filler pay-per-view, and that's what it played like today.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Payback in whole here. Like, the wrestling was good, and there were some moments that I really enjoyed, but other than that, I felt like it was just sort of like a pay-per-view that was just there, you know? Like, oh, that happened.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few good things. There were a few bad things. So, where do we go from here? Who knows? I mean, we're here. We're going to be, taking questions and reading the chat. Chris Jericho beating Kevin Owens makes zero sense.
It's a shocker, wasn't it? That was like the biggest shock of the night.
It's a shocker, and I wouldn't say that. I think it's a bad move. I think that Kevin Owens needs a change, and then renewing his rivalry with Sami Zayn would have been a great way to do things. Also, you have AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, assuming he wins. Now we get AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho at Backlash, right? That's Backlash is next.
Yeah, which is scary too, because now you're assuming that Chris Jericho is going to lose to AJ Styles, and he's going to get the United States Championship. Which I don't know, man. Like I still see him going up against Randy Orton sometime in the future.
Yeah, which that match was, speaking of, Randy Orton, that match wasn't anything special either. We had nothing but a bunch of edited things with special effects, and then not to mention we also see sound effects on every punch, just about, in that. So obviously that wasn't
it was the old style Batman.
Yeah, so obviously it was just edited, which is also annoying.
Yeah, I know. I was reading stuff on here. Like, I wasn't sure how this match was going to go until they kind of announced that it was supposed to be something that happened off screen, and that they would finish it in the ring. That's never worked. I mean, look at what they did with the New Day. The New Day tried doing that with the Wyatt family compound, and that didn't go over very well. They were trying to capitalize over the whole Broken Hardy thing that they did in TNA. Mm-hmm. And, trying to capitalize off of that success and see what they could do with it. And here we kind of had the same result. They tried to do something interesting, and, it just came up short, at least on that part of it. In terms of the match, I thought the match was really good. I wasn't happy with the ending, though I am kind of happy with the ending, if that makes any sense. I'm happy that Jinder Mahal came out and attacked Randy Orton. Mm-hmm. I like everything they're doing with Jinder Mahal at this point. Which is a complete 180 from what I said before. But I just don't like how he cost him the match against Bray Wyatt. And the only reason why I say that is why? Why should Bray Wyatt be beating your WWE champion?
Right. I also want to state SmackDown superstars, that being Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, both lost tonight. So your SmackDown superstar, now SmackDown looks weak. Superstar-wise, like as a roster, you look weak, because essentially that's your top two guys.
Essentially, yeah.
And you have the L. So, now it's, now we're going to see Chris Jericho move over to SmackDown. That's crazy. We also saw Alexa Bliss win the championship. Great move. Actually, really like that. That
was probably my highlight of tonight, actually.
Yeah, we had two title changes, one being Alexa Bliss beating Bayley. As I assumed, track record-wise, WWE does not like having your hometown hero winning. And you also had, again, Kevin Owens lose the WWE or United States Championship. So now but then again, it could be a good thing, because the faction that is, rumored to be could still come back together. What's up, Juan?
Well, yeah, that's the thing that we need to discuss now. Like, I'm guessing they didn't make that 100% clear, but the way I am looking at it now is that whoever lost that match is going to Raw, whether or not it was Kevin Owens or Chris Jericho.
Right.
So now that Owens has lost the championship, does that mean he's getting shipped back off to Raw?
Yes, absolutely. It also could mean that we see the faction that Triple H is supposedly getting together come back. We also, speaking of the faction, Samoa Joe lost tonight to Seth Rollins, which is his first singles loss. So, saw that coming. I think I'm not going to say that Seth Rollins is getting a huge push, but I do think that Seth Rollins is what's next for Seth Rollins. Samoa Joe's already done. I know Stephanie McMahon is back from her vacation now, so could we see her return and then her basically just put him through hell? You never know. So that's also something that we also have to look out to. But back to the Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. The whole rumor was that he was going to be leaving and that he was going to be going to tour with Fozzy. Now what's going on? Was it all just a hoax? Blah blah blah. Now what's going to happen now? So I don't know. I think Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles would sell more tickets. And that, in all honesty, if Kevin Owens is over there, that roster's stacked. I mean, Chris Jericho is good and everything, but
he's leaving. I mean, if it's
Is he?
not, maybe. I mean, if it's not this pay-per-view or next pay-per-view, it's the pay-per-view afterwards that he's leaving, or at least supposedly supposed to be leaving. I mean, let me get this right. Or let me get this straight. I don't dislike Jericho. I love Jericho. I would love him to stay. But it's hard for me to invest in him when I think that he's leaving. I don't know. I mean, after tonight, I'm completely floored. Because, like I said, that was the biggest shock of tonight, honestly. Chris Jericho winning the championship. I did not see that one coming. But I mean, I guess what we have to look forward to now is AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, which we'll be seeing for the fifth time now.
AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho. This would be the
fifth, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Because
So
AJ won at SmackDown, Chris Jericho won on Raw, I believe. No, it's the other way around. AJ won on Raw, Chris Jericho won on SmackDown, then AJ won at Fastlane. In a really good match. And, again, going back to WrestleMania 32, a lot of people were, didn't want this match to happen, but at the same time, you thought, well, we're going to get good wrestling. And at the end of the day, the match was mediocre. Probably AJ Styles' worst match since joining the company. But, who knows? I mean, it makes sense because AJ is still technically a heel. So, I just really don't want Chris Jericho to beat AJ Styles. This is just the fan in me talking, though.
well, yeah, I mean, it's like a double-edged sword. It's kind of like, all right, well, if Chris Jericho beats AJ Styles, I mean, it's kind of like, we really don't need that. It's gonna, I wouldn't say kill his momentum, but I definitely think it slows it if he loses to Chris Jericho. And if he beats Chris Jericho, oh crap, he's the mid-card title. That means that he's gonna stay away from the major title for at least a month or two.
Well, this is the way I look at it. You have God, I just lost what I was going to say. And that was going to be something good, too.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah. Well, there's a good chance that Jinder Mahal could win that belt.
Oh, I think he should at this point.
I
honestly think he should.
It would make sense. It's a feud. It's a feud for the summer. It would give them one more belt or, one more chance. So I'm
just kind of curious what they're going to be doing with the Bollywood boys. Considering that they're... Yeah, I mean, because they're basically the cruiserweights, and, they're on SmackDown, which is totally different than what they're gauging for.
So I totally remember what I was going to say. So what I was going to say is you have AJ Styles, and let's say he loses, right?
Mhm.
That makes zero sense. In assuming that he's going to be put on the main title, it makes zero sense to have AJ Styles versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Let's give the guy that just lost the mid-card title the main title. Makes sense, right?
Mhm.
That's my big thing. But, Alexa Bliss and Bayley was a solid match, though.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I feel like I would go out on a limb and say that's match of the night for me.
Well, the Cruiserweights wasn't bad. It's just the ending that we probably really don't agree on. The Cruiserweights,
Yeah.
I really am not a fan of, of Neville having the referee get involved again. Because now, essentially, Austin Aries really can't get a rematch. And if he does get another rematch, it's sort of like, okay, this is overdoing it. But who do you put in that picture now?
Yeah. Now that TJ Perkins is a heel, I mean, I guess Ali or Mustafa Ali or whatever his name is.
I mean, you could, but that's, risking it.
Yeah.
It's a risky play. Juan says Roman
I
Reigns.
honestly thought Austin Aries would win tonight.
I did too. I honestly and truthfully, I thought Austin Aries will win this, and they'll go back and forth until SummerSlam. But again, I see Bayley and Alexa Bliss just battling until just for the summer. I think they'll stop at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to disagree with this, with Alexa winning over Bayley. I think it's a smart move. It makes perfect sense for somebody like Alexa Bliss, just came off of being the SmackDown Women's Champion, to go up, destroy Bayley, take the title, and sort of kind of keep that feud going for a little bit longer. Because everyone's expecting Sasha to turn heel fairly soon. So it's kind of like prolonging the excitement for Sasha to turn heel, or slowly like giving them an opportunity to kind of figure out how they're going to go about doing it. But I have a feeling that it's going to take place with like a triple threat match between the three of them. I think that would be a good solid thing to do. Have Sasha, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss kind of have like a triangle feud going for that title.
Yeah. If they're not gonna, they need. I think to revive that. Belt, they would need Sasha and Bayley to go 1-on-1, heel versus face.
And eventually that's what they're going for, but I don't think that they're trying to do that now. I think they're trying to save that for like a big pay-per-view like Survivor Series or SummerSlam.
Right. Well, they need to do that. If they wait till after SummerSlam, they need to do it at WrestleMania. That's not something you need to do at Survivor Series.
Mm.
That's my opinion, of course. But we also, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. We can go ahead and talk about that. Would you? Well, before we talk about that, we also saw the heel turn of Cesaro and Sheamus, which is something, which is good. I think they both need not that they don't have an identity, but I think it's good because as of now, the Revival aren't those guys to really take over as your top heel. You do have the Club or Gallows and Anderson, but it's sort of like with them.
They're kind of the joke of the tag team division now. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, but they've kind of molded Anderson and Gallows into the fact that they're kind of like the jobber heel tag teams. They're essentially the Ascension, just with a little bit more street cred on Monday Night Raw. So
they win more.
With the Revival out of commission temporarily, it's good to see a heel tag team kind of come to the foreground. And let's be honest. I mean, as much as we like Cesaro and Sheamus as a team, I think a lot of the crowd were starting to get bored of them and their current gimmick about having one face, one heel. So it made perfect sense to kind of rejuvenate their tag team by making them go full-blown heel, which sort of opens up an interesting dynamic, and it also keeps the feud going, which I see definitely lasting a month or two.
Yeah. But what do you think of the tag team? It was a physical tag team match.
Oh yeah, Matt Hardy took a lot of bumps today. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Matt Hardy attempt a moonsault. Ever since I was a fan of him, like from the past, and it's just like he went for that moonsault. I was like, oh my god, like he's not going to do that, is he?
Yeah. So we saw what 3 title matches, 2 of them.
With the title
changed
changing hands.
A good heel turn, and then Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. I don't understand this match. It's like, okay, even though you did win at Fastlane, we're gonna just let you get destroyed at Payback. I mean, I really don't understand it. It was literally like, what, 15, 20 minutes of just Braun destroying Roman Reigns.
Which is typically how a Braun Strowman match goes.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
honest.
we also cannot forget that Roman was pinned clean.
Yeah. But see, here's my thing. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because right now it looks like the WWE is trying to get rid of Roman Reigns because of how bad their fans are reacting to him right now. I feel like they tried keeping him off for like a short period of time, and it was weird. It was like when he finally came back tonight. At first, I didn't hear that many boos. I don't know if that's WWE auto-tuning it from our end or what, but I didn't really hear Roman getting booed as much. Of course, as the match progressed, you start to see the fans start to boo him, and of course, towards the end, it's like they completely, we're all 100% against Roman Reigns and thanking Strowman for what he did. I think Braun Strowman needs to look strong. I don't think he could afford to lose again against Roman Reigns, which is why I thought it was a good opportunity for them to kind of keep him very strong and leading him into a match with Brock Lesnar. But what I don't like about tonight was that little after the fact. And if any of you guys were tuning in the Raw Talk before coming on here tonight, they kind of showed another confrontation between Reigns and Strowman, where Strowman just trying to attack him as he was getting into the ambulance again. And Roman Reigns kind of fended him off. It was like, all right, so Roman Reigns just got his butt kicked for like 30 minutes, and now all of a sudden he's the hero again. Mm-hmm. It's like completely wrote over what just happened at Payback.
Guy can barely breathe and barely walk to the ambulance.
But he was able to fend off Braun Strowman.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
You can't really write this yourself, man. I mean, it seems like a kid wrote that.
Yeah, I mean, for Braun, it just opens up what's next for him. It's obviously going to be him challenging for the Universal title, against Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but.
Well, that actually opens up another question. What about Finn Balor? Because he was on the pre-show and he made it very clear that he wanted Brock Lesnar.
He can say that, but I mean, it's not smart and it's not good. I mean, all he'll do is lose. I think for Braun, for Strowman, it's going to be him versus Lesnar. Because, Braun came out and, basically said, I'm going to prove you wrong. And Lesnar sat there and was like, okay, we'll see. For Finn, I think he needs to do something different. He has to. Keep it away from him. Because we know what the result will be.
Well, putting him up with The Miz is a decent, good feud for him to come back to.
Yeah, but, I mean, technically he hasn't lost a singles match yet. So do you give him that first loss to The Miz?
If you talk about The Miz from before the
draft
brand split, or the draft, I'd say no. But this Miz, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this Miz could do anything. I'd be happy with anything he's doing. And I still like The Miz, even though he went to Raw. I still think that although the writing isn't as good for him, he's sort of kind of making it work.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? If they want to strike up a feud with Finn Balor and Miz and Maurice, go for it. But they got to keep up the positive reviews on the mic, especially with Finn Balor. As much as Finn Balor is good with the mic, it also you need to be cautious with him because he's not 100% clear with the mic. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just because of his accent. We had the same issue with Becky Lynch, where like at times it's like, all right, that's a good thing you said, and then the next time it's kind of like, is that like an Irish phrase or is like a way they might talk in Ireland? It's different from what we would say here.
Well, look, I want you to answer this question, and then I'm gonna go get some medicine for a headache. What's next for Roman Reigns? Okay, so I'll be right back, and then I'll give my answer.
What's next for Roman Reigns after tonight?
Yes.
Wow. After tonight, I would say that Roman Reigns should be off WWE television for at least a month, maybe two. It certainly seems like that's the direction they're taking. I feel like they're doing that in part because of the reaction Roman Reigns has gotten. It's bad enough that he's been booed before. I think that since The Undertaker, he's really gotten booed so much that the WWE staff can't really ignore it, and I think that's what they're trying to do is just kind of get him off TV in hopes that the dust will sort of settle on the WrestleMania debacle with The Undertaker. So what's next for Roman Reigns? I say that he's gone for 2 months, and when he does come back, you'll probably see him challenge Braun Strowman, and that'll probably be after his confrontation with Brock Lesnar. If it's not, it's probably because Roman has cost Strowman the Universal Championship, which I kind of think that might be a mistake if they take that angle, because I don't think they should make Brock Lesnar look that weak to where Braun Strowman is just destroying him. So that's definitely what I think is going to happen going forward.
All right, I'm back. Is everything good?
Everything is good.
All right, so for me, Roman Reigns needs to stay off TV, obviously for a little bit. You could have him show up at some point in time to surprise Brock Lesnar, play off the injury angle, and go from there. I'm actually going to be cutting the show short because I'm getting myself a migraine. When I have migraines, they aren't good, so to speak. So what we're going to do is tomorrow we are going to record a video basically giving our final thoughts on Payback. I really am sorry for cutting this short. I really am. But when I get migraines, they're bad. I puke and everything. So first off, Andrew, I apologize.
You're good.
But we're going to cut it short and then go from there. Again, I am sorry. So peace out.